everyone, and welcome to Get Celebritized. I'm your host, Araya McGarry, and we come here every single week to give you more insights on how you can earn more, live big, wonderful, vivacious, juicy legacy lives, and how you can give back more because your life is so well strategized, so well lived, and you're not just barely surviving, you're thriving through life, that you're able to give back to maybe your favorite people, causes, charities, nonprofits with the excess and overflow from all of your big, fabulous living. Today, I have very special ladies coming on. Many times I just have one guest. Today, I have two, and I'm really excited about them because they're a family. I'm bringing on a mother and a daughter. We might even see the granddaughter peek in as well. And they are about to launch their very own family reality show with their pretty well-known dad, who is none other than Jayson Waller, who's a husband, father, and a phenomenal businessman. But today I have his wife, Liz Waller. She's the mom of four, grandmother to two. She loves to design and flip houses. And her firstborn, her beautiful daughter, Hannah, is here. And she is coming on to talk to us about what this is going to do to the networks, to the world, how it can impact you, bringing on their family, the good, the bad, the funny, the eclectic, the Bam Fam Show. So without any further ado, let me bring these beautiful ladies up to the show. Let me bring up Liz. Come on up, and your beautiful daughter,
Hi.
Hannah. Welcome
Thank you.
to the show. I'm so glad to have you ladies here. You know, I had the privilege of interviewing you, Liz, and your husband, Jayson, not too long ago on another show. And I'm so glad and honored you can come onto mine and talk about this because I love TV. I mean, it can be really good and it can be really bad. And it can be, just kind of like your secret passions, or you're one of those little indulges you watch. If you're going to watch a reality show, maybe people don't tell people they're watching certain shows. But nowadays, I think everybody just says, yeah, give us your favorite reality show. And you're jumping into this with your family, Liz. So I want to talk to you first. Why are you bringing your family, the Bam Fam Show, onto the reality airwaves?
I think the biggest part is we are a big family and we're very close knit. I think a lot of times nowadays, families aren't as close. We're very close. We do everything together. We eat most meals every week together. Yeah. So, we do a lot of vacations. None of us are ever left out, even the ones in college or, my oldest daughter who has two kids of her own. And I think just showing, like, even if you have a big family, you are able to do things. Like, you're able to have your own company. You're able to be your own person, kind of intertwining also family and business. We, have a big company and a lot of our family works there. And just seeing like the dynamic and the chaos, and there's a lot of funny moments and there's a lot of stressful moments. But just being able to work together as a family and just see that other people are going through stress just like you are, and how we kind of deal with it. And, sometimes people look at us and they're like, why would we want to watch you? You're just like this like privileged American family, but we're not. We've had a lot of downfalls. We've had a lot of things happen. We've had a lot of sadness. And so I think when people really start to see our story and see, one of our companies we started out of our tiny little bedroom when we were first married. I was like 21 and Jayson was 22. So the hard work and the dedication, and hopefully we're passing that along to our children as well, bringing them in, showing them how hard work, what it gets you. And it's sleepless nights and you cry some and you're angry and you don't always conquer all battles. Like, you win some, you lose some. So I think that's the biggest part of doing the show, is to show like really behind the scenes of, especially Jayson being super successful in our previous company of having $1 billion company, the stress that goes along with that, and behind closed doors of what happens and how social media is a big play on that. Even the news for us at one point was huge, how our kids are affected by that. Our kids trying to be normal, everyday children, but people knowing who they are and sometimes judging them. So there's a lot of different aspects and angles to why we've decided to do it.
Yeah, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into why, because my viewers may not know why you're so famous and what your husband does and Hannah's dad does, and because he's very successful and he does have the limelight, and you're opening up your doors and your beautiful family to your ups and downs, your highs and lows. And we know in TV, and I know being in TV, that it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. But no matter what you do, you know you're going to get the lovers and the haters.
Yeah.
And Hannah, let me just ask you, are you ready for this? Are you excited about this, what this could do for you? Because being young and raising your own children now, are you nervous? Are you afraid? Do you care about trolls? Because we all get them, right? And the more famous you are, the more limelight you're in, you're kind of inviting them. So what say you?
I think that when we first talked about it, we had like a sit down, we had someone approach my dad and say that he loved our story and that he thinks that we're very unique, because we have a lot of unique things that have happened to us.
I love your trailer. I want people to see your trailer. I'm going to Bam Bam show. It's so cute.
Yeah, there's always just like, there's never a dull moment, like never a dull moment. So I think that it was very flattering when we first got, asked. And then, we really sat down and we were like, hey, like maybe we should. And so, we've really thought about it and now we're going to do it. And I'm excited. I'm very excited. Am I a little nervous about the trolls? Yeah, because we already do have a hate Facebook group out there. So we're ready for that to, I guess, grow bigger. But
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of both of you and your whole family. Because you know what? You're going to get trolls no matter what. So you might as well live your biggest life. You might as well live life on purpose. Because if you live small, because of the hate you might get no matter what any of us do, right? So we're not in this life for everybody to like us. So if you're going to get them, you might as well be living your biggest life. Do what you want. Let people see the whole side of you. And with trolls come people that will love you, people that will appreciate you putting things on the air. And with that, Liz or Hannah, either one of you can answer this question. What are you hoping we as the viewer get from watching your story? Because you're really being vulnerable. You're putting this out there. What are you hoping people like me, because I already just love the idea. And so I'm coming in with a positive attitude to sit down with my popcorn and watch you guys. What do you hope I get from this show and people like me?
I think it's, conquering the moments of, showing people that there's always going to be people that hate you. And I think the more people that hate you, you're doing the right thing. Like you're doing something correct. So as my kids go to school and people say stuff about them and they say, oh, you have a show, oh, your dad has a Lambo, oh, your dad did this, oh, your dad did that. I tell them all the time, I'm like, you're going to have to conquer through it. You can make it. People are always going to talk about you no matter what you're doing. But I think I'd rather have my children go through something like this of saying like, we're doing all of these things, of showing people like, you can be strong through the moments and you have to build tough skin. I think that's the biggest part is, showing people you just got to have tough skin, but, keep fighting for your dreams. If you want to do something, just do it. And don't worry about what everybody else is saying, because in the end, it's mostly that they're jealous. It's nothing else. If they don't say good stuff about you, then just walk away. Don't worry about them. There's always people like that. But I think, as you open new doors, you're going to find new people. You're going to find people that have the same interests. You're going to find people that are your rock. You're going to find people that love you and inspire you to actually do more. So I think that's the biggest part of trying to show people, like, stop worrying about what everybody else has to say and do what makes you happy.
For sure. And I'm excited to see your big family, doing things together. Because these days I find so many families, they never even come together for dinner at night. And you're able to pull all that together. And you have this passion to design and flip houses. That's all going to be so interesting. And seeing your kids, what they're interested in and how this all plays out. Hannah, what are you hoping that viewers like myself learn or get out of seeing your family on the big screen?
I think that you can stay close and still have, a successful business is something that I really hope everyone takes from it. And especially like my point of view of like being a single mom and, trying to work through the kinks in that and trying to juggle everything with like family and work. And, I think that the biggest thing that a lot of single moms, I hope they take from it, is that they can do it alone, and that even though it's lonely, you still are able to find comfort in family and friends and being able to have alone time. So I'm hoping that people take certain things out of my storyline, and also take things out of our family bonding storylines on how to, kind of bond better as a family, and how to do better as, an entrepreneur. When it comes to my dad, he's very knowledgeable in that area. So
Well, a great segue for my next question. Again, my viewers may not have any clue who your dad is and Liz, who your husband is. He is an entrepreneur in his own right, very successful. You were talking about, Lambos. You all have fancy cars, fancy homes. Tell us a little bit about what he does and how he's achieved such success, because my viewers love to know how to earn more and live more. So take us through a little bit of the story of how that happened and what he actually does.
Yeah. So when we first got married, and he used to do a lot of business to business sales, and he was always looking to make more money. Obviously, we wanted to grow our family. I wanted to be able to stay home with our children and raise them. Daycare, as a lot of people know, is really expensive. You work pretty much just to send your kids to daycare. So it's a lot.
Not lying.
And I wanted to raise my kids. I wanted to be a part of their lives. I felt like that was important. So when we were young, 2021, we started a company and we did home security. So we did that for a really long time. And then I would think, I'm trying to think of the time, probably like 06, maybe, we sold and partnered with another company, another security company. So we became even bigger. We ended up selling that, and then we opened up solar. And then solar was, I would say, my husband's baby. That was his total like, he loved that company. I think he would have sold his first child. No pun, Hannah. So just that was his thing. He loved it. He stayed up at, late at night, making sure that things, kept rolling. When we had the pandemic, he took his stuff off payroll. He continued to hire. The biggest thing he said was that, people have to be able to buy groceries, diapers for their children, and making sure that those things did transpire. So I think the hard work is just, he's a hard worker. He never takes no for an answer. He fights. He's a fighter. And I've never seen someone fight as hard as him. If you're not super close to him, I think the thing that you would get from him is he's arrogant, but he's actually he's just confident. He loves who he is. He's confident in who he is. He knows he's a good person. He knows he does right by people. And he just loves to, have a business that he runs. He's a true entrepreneur. Anything and everything he needs to do that. So I think, going through those things, and now we have new ventures. He has his podcast. He's written a book. We have the new reality show. We have my house flipping stuff that we do. And we have a few other companies that we do invest in. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like I said, nonstop. He works he's just constant. So, him doing all of that that's who he is. I think I always tell him, you can never retire because you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. So he couldn't play golf. That's too boring for him. He never sits on a beach. So he has to work. And I think that's a really great trait for him, to show our children, to show people. It's been a long road. It's been a lot of businesses. It's been a lot of hard nights. It's been a lot of sacrifice, even for our families, selling our homes, not being able to do certain things, reinvesting in the company. So there's a lot of story there that will come out in the show, and kind of show our life. Yeah.
I think it's exciting because being the entrepreneur that I am, and a mom too, and I'm going to get so much out of the heart of your story, but I am going to be watching to see, the business side of it, and, being an entrepreneur and working from home and raising the family and being able to be eclectic and tapping into new businesses and making investments and having failing forward to success is all part of it, taking risks, being brave. And we are teaching our children that, our kids do what we do, not what we say. So they're watching what we do, and they're seeing it's okay to make a mistake, or it's more than okay to be brave. And I think it's all, so well, it's so well done. You so need to do this. So I'm excited about that, because I'm always loving to learn. I like to watch some reality TV to find out how, you can laugh all you want about the Kardashians. I don't watch them because got too much, but you can see that their mother, Chris, is a businesswoman.
Yeah, I love her
Because-
show. I watch it all the time. I love the things they do. I like.
I haven't had
Yeah.
a chance, but I know from my daughter, who my two daughters, one's 37, and she remembers seeing it like way back when it first started.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. But one thing she always says, Mom, you know, like she is a businesswoman, you know, be like Kris Jenner. She's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
It's a brand they have. So, you know, whether you like all of it or none of it or halfway, it doesn't matter. You know, that's a smart woman for whatever.
Yes.
So I think reality you can really take out good pieces of it. But I'm going to ask this question because reality shows can be really edited, and and I know some people that have been on, you know, some of the Housewives, which is really popular in all these different cities. I'm in Atlanta. We have Atlanta Housewives, and you hear stories about, oh my gosh, they made so-and-so look so bad in the editing room. Tell me, where's your show going to be seen, and who's got control of the editing? Because as a mom, I know that you're probably very protective of how your kids are seen, and you can edit any of us at any moment and pull something out of context and run with that and make a situation be completely what it's not. So tell me about how you're in control of that, if you are at all, and if you have any concerns.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely watching film, and we can edit things that we don't want in there. I think for the most part, it's pretty raw. We're trying to keep it raw. It tells a lot about even my childhood. My father went to prison for 13 years. And my one daughter and I get really emotional and deep about that because she has a lot of anger towards him. And it hurts my feelings because, you know, he's just, when you've been incarcerated, you become a different person. And I'm not mad at him, you know, but I also have a different point of view than she does. I'm older, I'm wiser, I've lived a different life. She's seeing it from a different point of view. So I'm trying to see hers. But for the most part, trying to keep it real and raw to understand, like, we're not a perfect family, and we do not come from like high dollar families.
You work for everything. You know, people can look at your wealth and say, oh, wealthy. You were going to show the work entailed in this, the sacrifices and all of that, which is really important. Where's your show going to be seen? What station? I know I'm going to put your website up again.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Fun. Okay, and let us know, when's the launch date?
It's in December. I don't have an exact date, but I do know that it's in December.
So everybody
we are doing a launch party here soon. That's like a preview.
Where?
We've got the details on that yet.
Where? I'm coming.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in Miami though, but once we do get those details, like, we'll definitely send it over. So yeah.
Oh, that's so great. I know a lot of people in Miami too. So it's bamfamshow.com. Y'all can tap in, see this amazing family, be brave, put themselves out there. Very, very successful, but showing the nuts and bolts, the grit, the grind, the sacrifices, because there isn't anybody that's successful that hasn't made sacrifices. And it's really fun to be able to sit back and see how the family dynamic works and how you guys still have dinner together every night. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. You know, most of us just lucky to get dinner on the table, you know, for one. Never mind, you have a whole family. How many people actually do you have? I know you guys live close to each other. How many are living in this whole reality world here?
Yeah, so in my family, there's the four of us. There's me and Jayson, Christian, and London. So Christian is 13, London's 16. And then I have Hannah. She's in walking distance of my home. So it's Hannah and her boyfriend, Nate, and then her two children, Lily and Grayson. So we normally pick a house that we go to and we eat dinner, especially on a Tuesday, Thursday night. Christian and Jayson have football. So I always kind of go over to Hannah's house and I joke with her boyfriend. I'm like, he's like, you know, it's like we're like sister wives. That's what I kind of like to joke with. And I'm like, what are you making for dinner tonight? Like, you have dinner duty. I don't. And he's like, where's that pot roast that you promised you were going to make? So there's a lot of kidding going on, but he's a good time too. So we kind of split the duties sometimes of who's going to make dinner. So, because dinner is like I hate when someone says, what's for dinner? I'm like, oh God, I don't know.
You know, I'm really close to my daughters too. And my older daughter, who's married, and she's 37 and married, and she lives about 45 minutes away from me, which I think is still too far.
Yeah.
But my 18-year-old, of course, she's still here. Hannah, you're within walking distance of your family. Was that by choice, or do you feel like you need to stay there for other reasons? I mean, you guys seem so close. I love it. So do you love being walking distance? I know I would love that.
Me and my mom are really attached to the hip. Like, we're definitely linked somehow. So when we lived in Michigan, I moved home to have my son. And then here comes my mom, like right after. And we ended up moving right next to each other. So I have to be close to my mom. Like, that's just how I am. Like you could call my mom at any given moment, at any time of the day, and she'd know exactly what I'm wearing, what I'm doing, where I'm at. So we're really close.
I
So
love that. That's where I am with my daughter. So that's good. That's so awesome. I love that. I love it so much. So whose idea was it to take this family on the air to make a reality TV show from it?
For sure, Jayson. Yeah, he was like, might as well do it. We've had some, ups and downs, and we can show people, show the story, because our story with our solar company it's pretty crazy. And I think the news wants you to hear what they want you to hear. And I learned that firsthand. And so, people understanding what's happened to us and how we lost a ton, everything we put in it and more. So he was just like, you know what, now's the time. We don't have a huge $1 billion company. We're not going public. We have nothing to lose. Let's do it. Let's show people exactly who we are. So, yeah.
That's great. Now I see the beautiful Lily has joined us. She's absolutely stunning. Well, let me give her little special zoom in. There she is. How old is Lily?
how old are you?
4.
You're 4. You are, oh, wait. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear me, so I need to put myself back up there. I don't know if you can hear me when I go back in the audience. You're 4. That's fabulous. And I love you're in pink. Is pink your favorite color?
Yeah.
Mine too. She's just beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Good to see you, Lily. All right. Jayson has this wild idea. Let's do a reality show. My audiences love to know how to take an idea and put it into fruition. So what you all are doing with this can be a great example for anyone wanting to start a new crazy idea, a new business. People saying you're going to do what? You're not going to do that. You can never. All the negative and all the stuff you get when you have an idea and you want to bring it to pass. So here you are, Jayson's like, let's have a reality show. Tell me some of the steps that it took to make this happen. Because I know also some of the audience members may be thinking, I want a reality show. I have this idea, whatever. So how do you make it happen?
Yeah, we were actually a little bit different. We actually got approached a few times because Jayson had been on a few TV shows. He had done a ton of commercials. We did a ton of NFL stadiums through solar. His face was out there a lot, especially through our old company. And so he was kind of a different kind of guy. He was edgy. He had platinum blonde hair. He wore crazy things. He did crazy commercials. So he was kind of like almost like a brand setter in the solar industry. Like he was the leader of them. So seeing him out there and seeing how successful he was, at 40 years old, people were really approaching him, really interested. He did a lot of articles, a lot of interviews. He won a ton of entrepreneur, like I can't even think of the word.
Awards?
Yes. Sorry. That was the word I was looking for. So he won a ton of awards. And so, they would always kind of ask, and if you hang out with us long enough, you will see that our family is crazy. So I feel like everybody we come in contact with, they go, you guys should have a reality show. And I'm like, what's your normal? Like, how are we not normal? Like, what do you guys do at your house when it's like nighttime? Like, how are we different? So I think that was the biggest thing is, people were approaching us and just seeing some of his TikToks or his Instagrams or anything like that we would go live on or make videos. People were kind of intrigued. So yeah, I mean, this producer approached us, and he had approached us a few times, made some videos for Jayson. And so then, Jayson goes, you know what, the heck with it. Let's just try it. So it was a little bit different scenario for us. But I think if you wanted to, you can do anything you want to. And I don't think it's super hard. A lot of people just film themselves. They upload it to YouTube. I know a ton of people that are famous. I mean, Wes Watson, one of Jayson's people he's had on his show, he's a huge YouTuber, and that's how he's done it. So I think there's a lot of platforms nowadays to get yourself out there.
Especially social media. I mean, thinking of the TikTok stars and all of that.
Yes.
But I mean, it's like it in business too. People really want to make a business. Maybe they know a reality show, but they're trying to start something in business, and they've got this big idea, and it's not easy to take an idea and turn it into reality. So I applaud you all for that. And what I'm hearing is you're in the right place. You have the right connections. And this could be for anyone, whether you want to be a hairdresser with your own salon, chain of salons, whether you want to be, a massage therapist in real estate, flipping houses. If you become well-known, that's what my whole platform is, getting celebritized, becoming the well-known person in your niche, and this was your niche. This was Jayson's niche. You're saying, saying all the people you already knew, and he's already the right fit for this. He's got the it factor. Well, that could be anyone in their niche. You could have your niche. You don't have to be the Jayson. You can be the best chef, have the best restaurant, have a special je ne sais quoi for your restaurant as a chef or a massage therapist, whatever it is that you do. So this can be taken into any other context, not just being a star, being a reality, for TV. So I love this because it just shows if you want it and you're in the right space and you know your industry, you know your niche, then these things can happen. And I love that. So Anna, let me go back to you. From your point of view and your siblings' point of view, how was this received when mom and dad said, hey, we're going to put on a show, kind of like the Judy Garland dates. Might be before your time on Judy Garland, but they're going on live. You guys are going to get the cameras in your faces in your own home. How did you and your siblings feel about that?
Definitely London and Christian are not big fans of it. But it's just, they're still in school. So they're kind of like, oh, like my friends are going to say something. But me and Mackenzie were pretty excited about it, especially because my dad does go from businessman to being our dad. And it's just like, he is the boss everywhere but at home. And that's just the truth.
Who's the boss at home? Wait a minute.
It's funny that, it's just funny that the things that we do, like, we went on a family vacation and we rented an RV. My dad's never driven an RV in his life, completely took out the entire Wendy's in the RV and didn't even know. He went inside to go order it, and they were like, you took out, like, here's your window, and you took out our entire drive-through. Like, so.
Is that going to be on the show? I hope that's on the show.
Yeah, and we always ask him, we're like, how do you build a $1 billion company? But you can't even drive an RV through a drive. Like, it's just, and I think that's why we were all excited, is because, like, a lot of our friends and a lot of people we know are like, you guys just have crazy things, and it just doesn't, it's just so unique. So we're all excited. We're excited for people to see our side and kind of understand that we're not like these stuck up people that we're portrayed as. We're actually a really fun and unique and exciting family. So
that's a great way to do it, to create your own story, tell it from your point of view, because I know from what you're telling me is Jayson's a very well-known businessman, billionaire, and people can create their own scenarios. They can write their own narrative, and you guys are changing that. You say, no, here's who we really are. So people aren't just, not so much so you're doing it for them not to judge you wrongly, but you're saying, hey, we want to show the real side of us. And I think you do it in such a fun, creative way. Now, Liz, with your younger children still in school, that can be an issue because kids can be cruel, and this might not be the greatest thing for them. How are you going to handle that with them being in school, not knowing what the other kids will say? And it's like you're so in school, it's your whole world. And I know it's very dramatic. And us as adults, we can brush things off and stuff, but your kids are going to be with those kids every single day. How are you going to handle that?
Yeah, I actually had an instance yesterday. My son, who's 13, he texts me and says, I need you to get me right now. And he never texts me. So I was instantly very paranoid of like, oh my gosh, what happened? I had the school go get him in class and call me. And he was just like, I've had a panic attack. You have to come and get me. And I was like, what's going on? He was like, people are just talking about the show. They're just laughing about it. They're talking about it. Like, they're just like, what part do you play in the show? Do you like it? Oh my gosh, we're going to watch it every day. And for him, it's just all negative. He doesn't see what could come out of it that's positive. So it's a hard conversation. It's constant reassurance. It's like, you know what? You got to go through hard times to get to better times. So many things can come out of this for you. You can tell people your story of, what's happened to you in the last year with your dad. There's just a lot of different stuff, but it's talking him off the ledge a lot. And like, it's forcing him still to go to school to work through it, because he's like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to hear them, do that. And he doesn't have like the greatest temperament of when he gets mad, he gets mad. So that is a struggle that we deal with constantly. He gets really upset and then he gets mad, and he's kind of a fighter. So I'm hoping, like, I don't want him.
Right? He's 13, middle school.
Yeah.
And middle school kid. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's hard. And he just started a new school. So he's like, not only am I the new student, I also now have a
Wow.
reality show. And my dad drops me off in the Lambo. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I know that it's huge to you, but most people would love to be in your shoes and
Mhm.
have that opportunity. So I have to also try to give him the other side because in his head, the world is over. It's ending. Like,
God, the poor thing. Oh
yes.
my
So
gosh.
I feel
Well,
bad for him.
there's going to be a lot of life lessons in there for
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
again, I think that because you guys are so close, that you will make it through this together. So, on that note, would there come a time that you just think this is not working? This is more harm than good for my kids. Will you pull the plug?
If it ever came down to being like that, for sure. Yeah. But I also, go back to you got to kind of go through the battle. And what's too much, what's too bad, like because of the stuff that we've gone through in the last year and a half, death threats on our lives, FBI coming saying that someone's going to kill you guys, doing things to our personal vehicles we could have wrecked and died, to our personal property.
There was a bullet through your wall too, wasn't there?
Yes,
In your
yeah, there's
daughter's
a
room?
bullet in Hannah's house.
Let's
There's
back up for a second. Why? My viewers again don't aren't familiar maybe with your story. Why are people trying to kill you?
Well, we were partnered with Generac in our solar company. We were one of their biggest distributors. And there was a malfunction in the part. They should have done a recall. They didn't. They just tried to replace it. They tried to cover it up. They tried to band-aid it. They tried to, blame anyone and everyone at the end of the day. And the part just didn't work. It literally will melt and catch on fire. It doesn't produce like it's supposed to. They're now out with like the third piece, and there's a class action lawsuit against each and every one of them. They're in trouble for securities fraud of lying to their board about their profits and not telling them they have a product liability problem. So there's a ton. So that blame was really stuck on us.
Ah,
And we had like over 40,000 customers with this product, and it was just like a ton of people just failing all at one time, and we didn't see this coming. And if you think about Generac, you think of Generac being a brand that everyone knows in their household, generators, that type of thing, that they would be a reputable public company. But that
right.
is not the company that we got when we partnered with them. So that was a hard thing to swallow, and everyone blamed us. So they
Oh,
blamed Jayson, is really what it came down to. They didn't blame anything else but him. It was almost like he made the product in the garage and he installed it. Like, it was kind of like, it
wow.
was crazy the things that people would say and do, but it was very personal. So they personally would attack us. And
It's just a shame though that there has to be a bullet through your family's
yeah,
wall for business. I mean, no matter what went down, to deal with it that way is
yeah.
just not the right thing to do.
No, and these people, there's a Facebook group of really, really insane people. And I hate to say that, but the way they talk, of the way the hate is, there's so much hate. And I hate that for them because, I don't want them to feel that way. And we tried anything and everything that we could. Hannah and I both went back in to the company the last couple months to try to really work and try to make sure we were taking care of the customers and see if there was any way that we could, do even more. And there just wasn't. At the end of the day, we had to close our doors. But and that's unfortunate because we loved our employees, we loved our customers, we loved what we did. We truly believed in solar, and we still do. We still think that that's the way to go for our children and our children's children, to have clean air. But it is what it is, and some people, you'll never change their mind no matter what you say or do. But the hate in the world today is unbelievable, and
Oh,
it's scary for my children. And that's the one thing we had to look at. We were like, okay, we're going to be doing all this, putting ourselves back out there, like almost opening a wound for some people. And as my family even asked, my dad was the biggest one. He was like, why would you ever do this? And I said, you know what, it is what it is. People are going to hate us whether I like it or not. It's better to get my story out there, have other opportunities for me and my family, show people that you can conquer things. It's all mindset. If you
mhm.
want something, then you'll do it. And so just try, getting through every single day. And it's been a year, and it's better. So, each day it'll get better and better, and time helps with that. So
Sure. Yeah, it reminds me of, we've all watched crime stories and things like that where people have been abducted and in some cases, don't quote me, but in some cases on shows, I'm just talking to
yeah.
you, I'm not talking about
Yeah.
they say let the abductor get to know you, talk to them, let them, and it doesn't always work, depends on the psychopath that's abducting
Yeah.
you, what movie you're watching. But in some movies I watch, they would let, talk and tell them their name, tell them their family's name, and get to know them. And some situations in some movies, they were able to build that relationship during that abduction where they were able to not get killed. And maybe do you feel this might be that way that people will be able to get to know you, like right there on the screen, and maybe whether you maybe change some minds. People say, well, I didn't know that. What a beautiful family, because we're all imperfect. But maybe they'll see Hannah and her beautiful children say, wow, maybe the people that were hating will feel bad about that and maybe say, wow, they weren't at fault. I made a mistake. Oh, now I see the other side of the story, because there's always two sides of the story.
Right.
And what a way to get it out than put your family on reality TV so they can get to know, like, and trust you. It won't change everybody's minds, of course not. But Hannah, do you feel this will be a better way to just get your reality out there?
Yeah, I think that I think it's really important that people see who my dad really is. I think a lot of people have a misconception of him. He's a really great guy. Like, he's the kind of person who would take his shirt off his back and give it to you. And a lot of people don't know that for months when we started having these issues with Generac and we were taking all that we were earning and putting it in fixing the customers, my dad was giving up his paycheck like for months, like didn't have a paycheck for months because he wanted to make sure his employees were getting paid, especially because it was during COVID and everything like that. So I think that's a big thing for people to understand, that he's not this bad guy. I think it's important for us to show our truth and explain what happened. And, there's two sides to every story. And I think that it's really important that people see our side and see that how much he actually cared. Because that we suffered actually way more than Generac suffered, and we suffered way more than a lot of the other owners suffered, because my dad's face was on the cars, my dad's face was on the commercials, my dad really stood behind Generac when they first partnered up because he thought they were a very reliable company. So I think that that's why they turned to him, was because they were like, oh well, here's the face, here's the guy, this is the person on the commercials. And so they blamed him, and that was hard. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of close relationships because people believed what, the news and social media had to say. And, they didn't want to sit here and listen, so I think that this will be a perfect opportunity for us to get our truth out.
That's great. Well, I just applaud you guys' bravery to step into the limelight. And it is a great way, because as from what you're telling me, that he was the face of the company, so he got the brunt of everything. So what better way than get out there? And I've met him on the last time I interviewed you guys on a different show, so I was able to have that time with him as well, which was so cool. And I love it. I forget who said this. Who said this you have a wonderful sizzle reel, and I know you've got more coming. And one of you said, on which one of your brothers or sisters said, your dad is like a teddy bear with teeth. And I just thought that was so funny. What does that mean? Tell us what a teddy bear with teeth is. I kind of get that warm fuzzy, but don't mess with them, especially don't mess with my family type of thing. But tell me who said that and what they meant by that.
I think that was London, wasn't it?
Well, that was Mackenzie. And Kenzie always says that, like, my dad, like, just like I said earlier, like, he's the boss everywhere but at home. Mm-hmm. So, like, he's really soft with us. Like, we really do know how to plant those seeds to be able to get what we want with my dad. But once his eyes turn black, like, he's mad, it's over. Like, it's like, we know, we're like, okay, like, all right, you win. Like,
he's got his threshold, when you're over it. I love that. Who's the boss of the kids, Hannah? Who's got him wrapped around his finger the best? Besides mom, Liz already has that.
London is the boss. She's the boss of even my parents. She calls the shots. She's 16. Okay. And she wanted to get her belly button pierced. And for me, I was a Bible thumper when I was younger. I mean, I was at the church all the time. That's all I did. But yet my mom thought I was over here like wheeling and dealing. And so she wouldn't let me do anything, right? It's just
but the worst of it.
Right. So, and then my sister, London, she turned 16 and she said, I want to get my belly button pierced. And so my mom was like, oh, well, you need to probably convince me on why. So my sister wrote her a 2-page essay on why she needed her belly button pierced. And she got it done. And, like London gets it done. Like she's the boss. Like if she tells my dad, no, I'm not doing that. Like no one questions that. Like she's not going to do it. So that is the actual boss.
I see maybe a future president of the United States there, I mean, she could be ruling the world. Good for her. Girl power. I love that. But I love she wrote you a 2-page essay. Here's why. Here's my reasons. I bet you couldn't turn that down, could you, Liz?
No, and I was like, you know what? I can't argue. And it was the same way. She got her nose pierced. She got a big cartilage earring. And there are some things now that she's my 3rd out of 4. I'm like, you know what? It's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill me. It's going to be fine. But
Pick your battle.
I pick my battles now. Hannah was like the test dummy. I didn't know what I was doing.
I hate that, Hannah.
Yeah, I really got I would literally be like, oh, can I go on this Bible camp trip? And my mom would be like, oh my God, no. I'm appalled. You're going to come home pregnant. The answer is no, right? I'm like, okay.
And your sister's like, can I go to a concert, sleepover? Yeah, sure. See you. Bye.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
I can't wait to see this show. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm excited about the entrepreneur part of it, the dynamics of the family, falling in love with you guys. I haven't met you all, but I just cannot wait. And I applaud y'all's bravery for doing this because this will not be easy. You'll have even more ups and downs. So before we close up, I would like just being in the TV world, for both of you, give me maybe one quick side story of behind the scenes. You guys are filming, got the camera crews going on. What is one thing that maybe went really wrong or something really funny that happened behind the scenes on the Bam Fam show?
There was one, we were sitting at the kitchen table and I don't even know how the conversation started, but it was really inappropriate for my son who's 13. It was some older talk of with my older girls, and he got real embarrassed and he goes, I really hope those parts are cut out. He was like, I don't know what people would think of us if that was on there. And I was like, you know what though? It's part of life. You're gonna learn stuff. And I'm not the mom that's earmuffs. Oh my gosh, you heard a cuss word. I am not that mom. I try to parent now in my life of real world things. Your kids are going to hear cuss words. They're good. All the music is horrible. And so, that is kind of our parenting style. Now they still have rules.
No, they don't. Only Hannah got the rules. None of the other kids have rules anymore.
I still have the rules. Yeah. My dad will shut my phone off if I don't answer his call.
That's true. Yeah. So I would say there was some inappropriateness at the kitchen table one time, and Christian he was blood red, and he was just that has to all be cut out.
Did it make it in the show, or did you cut it out?
We haven't cut it out yet. Everything is still being edited, and so
now we have to see that part. So now you can't cut it out. So
yeah. So it was pretty bad. It was really my part. I'm just
you should have some blooper reels. So if it gets cut out, have some blooper reels, and we can watch it later on. Would be fun. Maybe on your social media, that would be fun.
For sure.
And what's the memory you have from doing the show?
We were all sitting there and kind of trying to have an intimate moment, and Mackenzie decided to fart on my brother, really loud, it caught right on the mic, and it was just we all had to really take a minute because we were just okay, it's been a long day of filming, and it smells horrible, so we all had to fan out, and so I'm hoping that makes it. We're gonna probably edit it, but. It'll probably make it on the show, but for sure, that was a big one for Mackenzie. She's usually pretty quiet and chill, and that was just
she wants that cut out.
So
who has final say on the editing? Do you all have kind of consideration? If one of your children really didn't want somebody in there, do you have that say, or is somebody else producing this show that has final say, or did you keep some of that control?
Yeah, we definitely kept some of that control. I think at the end they're going to actually sway us. You know, if it's a scene that we're just kind of like, oh, I don't really know if I want to put that out there. They may sell us on like why it needs to be out there and why it's important, and so we may sway to their decision. But yeah, we definitely still have some editing like privileges. So right now, and that could be taken away depending on who picks it up, that type of thing. But yeah, I want to keep it as like raw and real as I possibly can, because there are a lot of funny moments in there of like really showing our house's like personality and how it's just like unfiltered of the things that happen. So
That's great. Now I know you're on Amazon Prime. What is the big dreams? You said depending on who picks it up. Do you have a bigger goal, bigger dream? Like if this could be picked up by somebody special, who would that be, or what network would that be?
yeah, it's out there right now. It's being marketed. So I would say like, Hulu or Netflix. That's always the big ones. Yeah, so that would be nice. So we'll just see what happens. You got to film, you got to edit, you got to send out your stuff, you got to do a bunch of different work. It's a long process.
Yeah.
It's definitely not an overnight process. I actually thought it was going to be like short and sweet and simple, but it takes a lot of time to edit and film. We even still film some scenes recently, like just of stuff we do, and send it in to see if like, it makes a cut. So it's a lot of time and it's tedious. So it's definitely not a short-lived thing.
Right. Will it be a weekly show, or will it be something that you download all the episodes at once?
I think initially it'll probably be all at once. I'm not really sure yet, but I mean, I would love for it to be ultimately a weekly show. That would be great.
I love when shows though download the whole season, because I love to sit and watch. I hate waiting till the next week and say, "Oh, come on, I got now. Let me have them." So, and some do and some don't. So both are good. Both are good. So, how many episodes do you have for December?
So it'll be 3 up front.
Okay, and you're hoping to get picked up by more.
Yeah, and we want to do like a whole like summertime traveling with some of our really good friends. We've talked about that, like the Wallers and our friends take over Europe. And it's always my friend has a ton of kids, and we have a big family, so there's always chaos every time we travel with each other every year, and it's always chaotic. So I can only imagine what that would look like and be like. So with tons of children and luggage and nannies and
all the sponsor opportunities though. Oh my gosh, there's so many opportunities for that. So I just want to wish you guys all the best. I will be watching. I cannot wait for this. I'm so excited for you. And as a family, I'm so glad you're just saying, we're not perfect, because there is no perfection anywhere.
No.
But what is perfect, right? So you're going to be out there. I just applaud you for that. Good luck with that. And I just want to give you both the last word. If you could let any of the viewers know about anything you want to say right now before we close up, in a closing word, what would you like to say? And I'll start with Hannah.
I hope that you enjoy the show. I hope that you get your friends and family involved and you like it and you share it. And I hope it takes off and I hope it's successful.
Is there anything we can do to help you with that? Is there anybody? What we can
just sharing it? I mean, also we have our own personal TikToks. That would be cool for you guys. Follow those too, because we have like it kind of shows our personality on like a one-on-one. My sister's is pretty hilarious.
All right, what are those handles? Is it Bam Fam Show on TikTok?
Bam Fam Show, and then Just Hannah, London Jace, and then Mackenzie's is Narcolepsy Princess. So I think that everyone should.
I'll put those in the descriptions for everybody. So wherever you're watching the show, look in the descriptions. We'll put the TikTok handles in there so you can follow the entire family and see all the fun shenanigans and life and ups and downs, so we can support you. So thank you so much. Now, Liz, give us your last words to say anything you'd like to us out here in the audience.
I think one thing that we didn't really touch on is mental health. I always take mental health to heart because I struggle with mental health like crazy. So does 2 of my daughters. Well, actually 3 of my daughters. It's a real thing that we don't talk about enough. And I think that I want to touch on that in the show of people, that struggle, and it's hard to get up in the morning. It's hard to do the things that you need to do, and thinking that you're alone. That's another thing that I'm hoping that the show will give light to too, because Me and my girls, we struggle really bad with anxiety. And when you're going through stuff, anxiety just escalates, and it forms in so many different ways. It's not just like I feel scared. It's like feelings in your body, your eyesight, the way that you do things. There's so many things. So I think that's another thing that I wanted to touch on, is that mental health is really dear to my heart. And I hope to help someone that's struggling like I have, or, that's not having a good day. And maybe they don't feel like they want to live anymore, knowing that other people are out there struggling. And, I wish I could reach out to them and talk them off the ledge, but understand that you're not alone. And there's people that can help you and that love you and that will talk to you when you need when you need talking to, almost like an AA sponsor. I'm sure there's groups like that, and to have more availability for things like that. And also just on fentanyl awareness, that's another thing that's really dear to our hearts. My daughter OD'd over the summer at her best friend's house, and almost losing my daughter. That's big. And my daughter struggles now to trust people, to live her normal life. It stole her light. And that fentanyl in our country is a big problem. And there needs to be more awareness for young children. Like, please don't take stuff off people. Don't trust even your best friend. They don't know where they got it from. And to have more places that offer Narcan, and safe places. There's just a whole bunch of things that I hope to be able to touch on our show that help people. And I'm a strong advocate of those two things, because they have hit our home pretty hard. And for someone that has lost a child, my heart goes out to them. I almost did. And I can't imagine living my life without my daughter. So, there just needs to be better choices out there for children, and awareness, and knowing that it can end your life. And you don't get a second chance. This is your one and only chance. And like I said, all my kids have Narcan in their car. It's in my home, and we were never familiar with any of that. So I think that's another thing that I want to put out there.
Well, I love you even more now. And if I really hope, I mean, this is serious stuff. And this, especially since the pandemic, if you can shine a light on this, which I know won't be easy for you all, but if you can, know you're not alone, because there are people that need to see this, need to see that. And that just sets you apart right now. I mean, we should have started with that. I am just so glad you ended with that, because that just takes on a whole nother light why you guys have the limelight on you and on this. Because if you're going to show that and give people hope, absolutely, that is so needed. Can you tell me real quick in the last minute, I don't know, what is Narcan?
Yeah, Narcan is a nasal spray. It's almost like a Flonase that you would use for your allergies. And it helps to instantly, kill any OD that you would be having.
Really?
So my daughter was found on scene foaming and not breathing. So they had to resuscitate her and get her stable. The doctor had said, they touched her eyeball, they smacked her, they did all things, and she just was unconscious and barely breathing at that point. So they gave her Narcan in her nose. It's just a nasal spray. It's real little. It's in a little box, easy to carry with you.
Okay.
And just, a shot up the nose on each side. And within minutes, it totally woke her back up. She was coherent, like nothing ever happened. So they should have it on every shelf at every CVS, Walgreens.
Well, if you can show that, if you can shine a light on that, that would be amazing. If you save just one life,
yes,
your show is absolutely worth it. So beyond the business, beyond the fun, the chaos, all that, that is such a great reason to have the show, because there are millions and millions of people that need to see this, and to see that they're not alone. This is so much more normal, mainstream than ever before, especially after the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, both of you and your family. Thank you. That's not easy to show.
I know it's a sad thing, and it's a thing that no one wants to talk about or think about, but
they really do. Because we talk about this a lot on different ones of my shows too. You think we don't want to talk about, we really do. We really need to talk about it, and most people want to talk about it. They just don't know where to. And therapists are so booked up now, people can't even get in with therapists. So if this could be some kind of therapy, like I just learned something just now from you with this Narcan. I didn't know. You never know when you're going to need to know something like that. So thank you for that. Keep the limelight on that. Don't stop. And because I know there's so many of us that we want to see that. We want to see you living a normal life and having that that situation that so many people are dealing with. So thank you for that. This is
Yeah.
going to be an amazing show. I'm really excited. Bam Fam Show. Thank you for being here on the show. We so
Thank you.
appreciate you. And I can't wait. December, Amazon Prime. We'll make sure all the links in the description. We'll make sure this airs before the show date, before the debut, and keep on keeping on. I know I will spread the news and share it everywhere I can. Liz and Hannah, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on Amazon Prime. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. This is Get Celebritized. Have a great one. Bye for now.